Welcome back to our channel Ultra Rare Coins History. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. Today, we embark on an extraordinary journey to explore one of the most intriguing coins ever minted in the United Kingdom, the Elizabeth II 1 penny from the year 1993. At first glance, it may look like just another simple copper-plated coin that millions of people used every day, but behind its modest appearance lies a story of history, artistry, rarity, and an unbelievable value that has shocked collectors around the world. By the end of this video, you'll understand why this unassuming penny has captured the imagination of so many enthusiasts, and how it has reached a staggering price of $29 million in private auctions and rare coin markets. Imagine yourself back in the early 1990s, a time of major political and cultural transitions in the United Kingdom. The Cold War had just ended, the European Union was taking shape, and the British economy was modernizing rapidly. In 1993, everyday life in the UK was filled with traditional symbols like red telephone boxes, double-decker buses, and the familiar jingling of copper coins in pockets and purses. Among those coins was the humble 1 penny, bearing the regal portrait of Queen Elizabeth II. For most people, it was just loose change for newspapers, sweets, or a bus fare. But for collectors today, the 1993 issue of this penny tells a much deeper story that connects the past and the present. To understand why this particular penny is so special, we first need to talk about the monarch whose image it carries. Queen Elizabeth II, who ascended to the throne in 1952, was by 1993 one of the most recognized and respected figures in the world. Her reign had already spanned more than 4 decades, witnessing profound changes in technology, culture, and the Commonwealth. The portrait on the 1993 penny was the third definitive effigy of the Queen, designed by the talented sculptor Raphael Maklouf. Maklouf's portrayal depicted the Queen wearing the royal diadem, the George IV state diadem, an elegant crown encrusted with diamonds and pearls. This image was carefully chosen to project dignity and continuity, while also showing a softer, more modern elegance compared to earlier portraits. Collectors have always admired the Maklouf design for its artistic detail, especially in the curls of the Queen's hair and the fine lines of the diadem, which appear remarkably sharp even on such a small coin. Turning the coin over reveals another important symbol, the reverse design featuring the crown portcullis with chains. This iconic design represents the British Parliament and has its origins in heraldic emblems dating back centuries. It was created by the British artist Christopher Ironside, who aimed to capture the essence of the nation's parliamentary democracy. The crown resting above the portcullis adds a touch of royal authority to the otherwise architectural motif, and the detailed chains that drape across the gate show a level of craftsmanship not often found in everyday coinage. On the 1993 penny, this design stands out crisply, especially on coins that were well struck and carefully preserved. The reverse is encircled by the words, 1 penny, at the top and the coin's denomination numeral, 1, at the bottom, forming a balanced, classic look that makes it instantly recognizable. The minting process of the 1993 penny also played a crucial role in its later rarity. The Royal Mint in Llantrisant, Wales, was responsible for producing these coins, primarily in copper-plated steel, as the UK had begun moving away from the more expensive bronze alloy that had been standard for decades. This shift in material not only reflected the country's economic considerations but also introduced subtle changes in the coin's appearance and weight. While millions of pennies were minted for circulation in 1993, a small number of them were struck under exceptional conditions, proof strikes and special mint sets, intended for collectors. These particular strikes often showed deeper details and a mirror-like finish, and over time they have become highly sought after by numismatists. Some of the 1993 pennies also exhibit unique die varieties or striking errors, such as slight misalignments or doubled lettering, which can dramatically increase their value today. Another factor contributing to the significance of the 1993 penny lies in its place within the timeline of UK coinage. By the early 1990s, Britain was in the midst of subtle but steady changes in its currency system. Decimalization had been completed in the 1970s, but the nation continued to refine and modernize the designs of its coins. The 1993 penny represents one of the last major issues to use the Maklouf portrait before it was replaced in 1998 by Ian Rank Broadley's more mature and realistic depiction of the Queen. This makes the 1993 issue historically significant as part of a closing chapter in the Maklouf era, adding another layer of appeal to collectors who seek complete portrait era sets. Stories of individual rare coins often make headlines, and the 1993 Elizabeth II 1 penny is no exception. Over the years, tales have surfaced of rare mint errors, coins struck slightly off-center, with mis-struck edges, or even examples produced on the wrong metal planchets. These anomalies, often caught only after a small number slipped into circulation, have fueled a treasure hunt mentality among coin enthusiasts. Imagine finding a penny with an unusual shine, a lighter or heavier weight, or an irregular rim. It could transform what appears to be a simple copper-colored disc into a life-changing discovery worth thousands or even millions of dollars. Collectors often emphasize the importance of condition when determining a coin's value. For the 1993 penny, coins preserved in uncirculated or proof-like states are far rarer than those that passed through countless hands over decades. Many pennies from that time were heavily used, accumulating scratches, dings, and dulling from years in circulation. But those few that remained untouched, kept in coin albums, mint sets, or forgotten stashes, now command astonishing premiums. Numismatists grade these coins meticulously, using scales like MS65, MS70, or Proof 70 to distinguish slight differences in quality. The higher the grade, the more breathtaking the price tag. The allure of the 1993 Elizabeth II 1 penny also comes from its symbolism. For many in the UK, it recalls an era of stability under the Queen's reign and carries sentimental value tied to the early 1990s. For global collectors, it represents a piece of British heritage at a turning point in modern coinage history. This combination of nostalgia, artistry, and scarcity makes it more than just currency. It's a historical artifact in miniature. Some private collectors even describe owning one of these pennies as holding a fragment of living history in the palm of their hand. Auction houses have taken note of the growing interest. In recent years, high-grade and rare examples of the 1993 penny have appeared in prestigious sales across Europe, North America, and Asia. Bidding wars often break out among seasoned collectors and new investors hoping to add this iconic coin to their portfolios. Prices have soared far beyond initial estimates, leaving many astonished at the enthusiasm surrounding a coin once dismissed as ordinary change. Collectors who recognized its potential early on have seen remarkable returns on their investments. One fascinating story often told among numismatists involves a retired schoolteacher in northern England who discovered an uncirculated 1993 penny in a proof set gifted to her decades earlier. Initially, she considered it just a sentimental keepsake, but after having it graded and authenticated, she learned that its condition was nearly flawless. When it went to auction, the hammer price stunned even the experts, proving that sometimes the most valuable treasures can be hiding in plain sight. Today, the buzz around this penny continues to grow thanks to online forums, coin collecting communities, and social media platforms that spotlight incredible discoveries. Videos showcasing the unique features of the 1993 penny, comparisons of die varieties, and dramatic auction stories have sparked renewed excitement, inspiring a new generation of collectors to search their change jars and family heirloom boxes. At Ultra Rare Coins History, we've examined countless coins over the years. But the 1993 Elizabeth II 1 penny stands out because it represents how something so small can carry such monumental historical and financial weight. It's a testament to how craftsmanship, timing, and a bit of luck can transform an everyday object into an extraordinary treasure. Top 2. The unassuming United Kingdom Elizabeth II 1 penny from 2011 carries a tale so remarkable that it has captured the fascination of collectors worldwide, and its extraordinary journey has propelled its value into the realm of millions. Tonight, we uncover how an everyday coin became a treasure whispered about in numismatic circles and sought after by investors hunting for legendary rarities. The story of the 2011 Elizabeth II 1 penny begins over a century before the coin itself was minted. Britain's penny has always been more than just loose change. Since the reign of Queen Victoria, the penny was a fundamental unit of the nation's currency and bore the responsibility of representing Britain's identity on the smallest canvas possible. By the time Elizabeth II ascended to the throne in 1952, the penny had already undergone transformations to reflect new monarchs, technological advances in minting, and the country's shift from pre-decimal to decimal currency in 1971. This long lineage of the penny created an unbroken chain of tradition and symbolism that every subsequent issue would inherit. Fast forward to the early 2000s, when the Royal Mint decided to refresh the nation's coinage with a bold new design series. Introduced in 2008, the new penny design broke away from the familiar portcullis emblem that had been featured for decades and instead unveiled a modern approach, a fragment of the royal shield of arms. When all the coins from the penny up to the 50-pence piece were placed together, they formed the full shield, like pieces of a puzzle. This redesign brought a sense of unity and artistry to the coinage and was intended to give even the smallest denominations a renewed sense of national pride. The 2011 one penny, therefore, is part of this shield series, bearing on its reverse the lower left section of the royal shield that shows a portion of the first and third quadrants, including the iconic three lions passant guardant of England. Though small, it carries that heraldic strength and the centuries of history tied to those lions. The obverse of the coin depicts the familiar portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, the fourth definitive portrait sculpted by Ian Rank Broadley, introduced in 1998 and used on UK coins until 2015. His rendition shows the Queen wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, with a dignified yet approachable expression that many collectors feel captured the Queen's maturity and grace in her later reign. Minted in copper-plated steel, the 2011 penny weighs 3.56 grams and measures 20.3 millimeters in diameter. At first glance, these are ordinary statistics for a modern British penny, but as collectors know, the true intrigue often lies in the subtle details that distinguish one coin from millions of others. The Royal Mint produced hundreds of millions of one-penny coins that year for circulation, which is why most people see them as commonplace. Yet, in the world of numismatics, it is precisely in these massive production runs that occasional anomalies arise, misstrikes, die errors, off-metal strikes, or limited mintage test pieces that slip through unnoticed. The legend of the 2011 penny's rarity began with whispers of a small batch of coins that exhibited unusual characteristics. Some collectors reported finding pennies with doubled lettering along the inscription, 1 penny, or slight misalignments in the shield design that indicated a die clash error. Others claimed to possess examples struck on older bronze blanks instead of the standard copper-plated steel planchets, a mistake that would have required older pre-2008 blanks to be accidentally used in the presses. These anomalies, combined with speculation about a small number of proof-quality coins released unintentionally into circulation, fueled an obsession among coin hunters. As words spread through online forums, auction houses, and collector conventions, the 2011 Elizabeth II penny gained a reputation far beyond its humble denomination. Experienced numismatists began acquiring rolls of pennies from banks in hopes of discovering these elusive error coins. Some claim to have sold verified error examples at prices exceeding tens of thousands of dollars. The frenzy grew as news stories and social media posts sensationalized the idea that a simple 2011 penny could change a person's fortune overnight. To understand the cultural weight of this phenomenon, one must appreciate how modern British coins are tied to the national psyche. The image of Queen Elizabeth II had become synonymous with stability and continuity, especially in the early 2010s, as she was approaching her Diamond Jubilee in 2012. Coins minted during this period gained sentimental value because they seemed to encapsulate not only the monetary symbol of the realm but also a fragment of the Queen's enduring reign. Collectors were drawn to any penny that connected them to this historical milestone, and the 2011 penny, minted just a year before the Diamond Jubilee, benefited from that emotional resonance. The Royal Mint itself has remained characteristically discreet about specific error batches, maintaining that all official records classify the 2011 penny as a regular circulation coin with no declared varieties. Yet, The allure of the unknown only increased its mystique. Auction houses like Spink and Dick's Noonan Webb reported record-breaking interest whenever a 2011 penny with proven error features crossed the block, driving prices far beyond typical one-penny valuations. What makes this story even more intriguing is how the coin's journey reflects the way modern collecting has evolved. In earlier centuries, rare coins were usually recognized because they were struck in small numbers or in precious metals. Today, with advanced minting technology minimizing imperfections, true rarities often arise from these rare production mistakes or unique circumstances surrounding a coin's release. The 2011 penny is emblematic of this shift. Its perceived value stems not from intrinsic material worth but from its narrative, its perceived scarcity, and the passion of those determined to own a piece of its legend. Consider the coin's physical feel, the cool touch of the copper-plated surface, the way the shield design's lines catch the light, the familiar portrait of Elizabeth II gazing to the right. Her profile accompanied by the Latin inscription, Elizabeth II DG Reg FD 2011, which translates to, Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. This inscription, an echo of centuries of British monarchy, serves as a subtle reminder that even the smallest coin carries the weight of a nation's heritage. Some of the most dedicated collectors have taken extreme measures to secure the finest graded specimens of the 2011 penny. Certified coins graded by reputable agencies such as PCGS or NGC with perfect or near-perfect mint state designations have become the centerpieces of high-end collections. Stories abound of passionate bidders entering intense bidding wars, sometimes out of competition as much as desire, each one hoping to claim the bragging rights of possessing the ultimate one-penny rarity. The media has played its part in amplifying this coin's legend. Headlines such as, "Check your change, your penny could be worth a fortune," or "Rare 2011 one-penny coin breaks auction record," created waves of public curiosity, prompting people across the UK to rummage through their jars of loose change in search of an overlooked gem. Pawn shops and small coin dealers reported sudden influxes of customers requesting appraisals of their humble pennies, often leaving disappointed but still hopeful. Despite the controversies about how many truly rare error examples exist, the tale of the 2011 penny continues to thrive because it taps into something deeper, the fascination with hidden treasures that might be lying unnoticed in our everyday lives. It embodies the age-old dream of discovering something priceless where others see only the ordinary. For viewers of ultra-rare coins history, the appeal of such stories lies not just in the potential monetary value but in the historical and human narratives that these coins carry. The 2011 penny becomes more than an object. It becomes a witness to the Royal Mint's evolving artistry, a silent participant in the reign of one of history's most iconic monarchs, and a testament to how small details can spark immense excitement. As we trace its story, from the concept of the Shield series introduced in 2008 to the circulating coins of 2011, to the whispered accounts of errors and unexpected minting quirks, we see how a single year's issue of an otherwise common penny could ignite a global hunt. It shows us that rarity isn't always about age. Sometimes, it's about the convergence of timing, craftsmanship, and sheer happenstance. When we talk about value in the coin collecting world, we often think of intrinsic factors like precious metals or historical events. But coins like the 2011 one-penny prove that emotional value and storytelling can rival even gold in driving demand. It is that blend of mystery, heritage, and collective intrigue that has elevated this coin far beyond its face value. Top 3. Today, we're diving into one of the most intriguing coins ever minted in the United Kingdom, the Elizabeth II one-penny from the year 1981. At first glance, it looks like an ordinary penny, small and copper-colored, something you might overlook in your change jar. But beneath that modest appearance lies a coin that has become legendary among collectors, not only for its history and design but also for its astonishing value today, an unbelievable $38 million. So sit back as we journey through the story of this exceptional coin that transformed from a common piece of currency into a priceless treasure. To truly understand the significance of the 1981 Elizabeth II one-penny, we have to step back into the history of British coinage during the late 20th century. The year 1981 was a time of transition and subtle change for the United Kingdom. Margaret Thatcher had been Prime Minister for just 2 years, and the country was undergoing social and economic shifts. The Royal Mint, which had modernized its production facilities in Llantrisant, Wales, continued to issue coins bearing the image of Queen Elizabeth II, a tradition that had begun in 1953 after her coronation. The penny itself had already gone through several transformations by this point. Prior to 1971, the UK used the old pre-decimal system, but decimalization changed everything. The penny introduced in 1971 was smaller, lighter, and made of bronze, and it became a vital part of the new decimal currency system. By 1981, the decimal penny had been in circulation for a decade, but coins from this specific year would soon gain attention for reasons no one could have predicted. The design of the 1981 penny is a testament to British craftsmanship and heraldic tradition. On the obverse, or front, of the coin is the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, crafted by Arnold Machin, one of the most respected sculptors of the time. This portrait depicts the Queen wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, an elegant and iconic image that adorned UK coins from 1968 to 1984. The portrait is youthful, poised, and dignified, capturing the monarch in her mid-reign years and symbolizing the stability and continuity of the crown. Around the portrait are the inscriptions: Elizabeth II DG Reg. FD 1981, an abbreviation of the Latin phrase De Gratia Regina Fidei Defensor, meaning Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. On the reverse of the coin is the crown portcullis with chains, a heraldic badge often associated with the Palace of Westminster and long linked to British governance. The portcullis design was created by Christopher Ironside, a gifted designer whose work brought modern elegance to the UK's new decimal coins. The crown portcullis, flanked by chains, symbolizes both the strength and accessibility of the Parliament. Below the design is the denomination, 1 penny, written in crisp, bold lettering that emphasized the straightforward purpose of the coin. Together, the obverse and reverse designs created a penny that was as much a piece of art as it was a medium of exchange. Minting details add another layer to the coin's story. The 1981 penny was struck in bronze, an alloy consisting of 97% copper, 2.5% zinc, and 0.5% tin. It measured 20.3 millimeters in diameter and weighed 3.56 grams. Although these specifications were typical for pennies of the period, the mintage for circulation that year was relatively modest compared to some earlier years. While millions were produced, a portion of the 1981 pennies were struck to exceptionally high standards for proof sets and collector editions. These proof versions were minted with polished dies and carefully prepared blanks, giving them a mirror-like finish and razor-sharp details that set them apart from ordinary circulation coins. Over time, as people spent and lost the common pennies, the high-grade examples became increasingly scarce, elevating their desirability among numismatists. Collectors soon discovered that not all 1981 pennies were created equal. Some exhibited tiny variations in die alignment, letter spacing, or even the sharpness of the portcullis design, subtle minting anomalies that can make all the difference in determining rarity and value. These so-called varieties became highly sought after, as even a slight error or unique feature on a coin can transform it into a prized collectible. Coins struck in pristine condition, with no wear, scratches, or discoloration, are especially rare since most pennies entered circulation and experienced the usual knocks and abrasions of everyday use. The journey of the 1981 penny from an ordinary coin to a legendary collectible is also shaped by its historical context. By the early 1980s, the penny remained a common coin in the UK, but its actual purchasing power was declining due to inflation. Over the decades that followed, the penny's role in commerce diminished further, and the older bronze pennies were eventually replaced by copper-plated steel coins in the 1990s. This shift meant that the original bronze pennies of the early decimal years, including those from 1981, became obsolete, no longer struck for circulation. Many were withdrawn and melted down by the Royal Mint, making surviving examples in excellent condition even rarer today. This reduction in surviving numbers added fuel to the growing interest from collectors who recognized the historical and monetary significance of these coins. Stories began to circulate in numismatic circles about certain 1981 pennies selling for extraordinary prices at auctions. These reports, combined with the coin's scarcity and beautiful design, led to a surge in demand. Some of the most spectacular sales involved proof versions of the coin or unique specimens with verified minting anomalies. Collectors were willing to pay astonishing amounts to acquire these pieces, seeing them not only as a part of British monetary history but also as investments likely to grow in value over time. The rise in demand created a sense of mystery and excitement around the 1981 penny, transforming it from pocket change into a piece of treasure. Beyond its monetary value, the 1981 Elizabeth II penny holds cultural and sentimental importance. For many Britons, it's a nostalgic symbol of an era, the early years of decimal currency, the familiar portrait of a young Queen Elizabeth II, and the enduring heritage of the crown. It also reflects the artistry and craftsmanship of the Royal Mint, which succeeded in producing a coin that was practical yet elegant, rooted in centuries of heraldic tradition yet suited to a modern decimal economy. So the next time you come across an old penny from 1981, don't dismiss it as just another forgotten coin. Take a closer look. You might be holding a piece of history worth far more than you ever imagined. That's the magic of coin collecting. Hidden treasures are often right in front of us, waiting to be discovered. And that's what we celebrate here on Ultra Rare Coins History, where every coin tells a story, and some stories are worth millions. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey into the world of the 1981 Elizabeth II penny. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Ultra Rare Coins History for more fascinating coin tales, and share this video with fellow collectors and history enthusiasts. Who knows, your next coin discovery could be the start of your own legendary story.